Recording in progress. Okay.
Yeah.
So what we have here is the Mushes theme sketch. It's kind of like a trailer. And there's different elements. Down here in yellow are just sort of background or environment sounds. I actually renamed some of these regions. I'm gonna rename them all environment. And then up here at the top in brown is Mush's theme melody. Um, these ones in blue are just kind of they're the rhythmic bass, the drums, and they're kind of like the sound of somebody walking along steadily. Um, the the next thing you hear, actually, I'll put these in the order that they start. The next thing you hear is the gods or the giant trees, something big and deep. And then you get the sort of B section, which is the alchemists theme. And so you get Mush's theme here, the gods saying something, the alchemist, and then you get kind of all three of those together. And I can solo them. So you just start with this background stuff down here. I'm just gonna, this is just kind of a background ambience. All right. And then you get the walking is the next thing that comes in. So I got to start from drum and bass. So this is just somebody kind of like I picture Mush as kind of hop skipping a little bit. He walk
Yeah. Yeah. He's got a little hoppy walk that he does. Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. For sure.
and somehow we both decided that without talking about it, and that's
Like I said, man. Zzz.
yeah, zeitgeist.
Yeah.
All right, and then you get this little melody, this very simple, almost childlike melody that comes in that's kind of meant to be Mush's theme song. Like, you know how in Star Wars there's Princess Leia's theme? Dun, da, 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 da. And that
Oh, I
melody,
didn't know that. That's
yeah,
Princess Leia's thing.
yeah,
Oh, like
there's a
when it kind of
bunch of
softens up a little bit,
exactly.
almost. Oh,
And this is
wow. Okay.
also a thing you do in opera, you know, where like a sword has a theme or it's called a leitmotif. Um, so now I have to keep restarting it from the beginning because
I
this
don't
is
mind.
one big long note down here.
You can't grab that thing and just slide it wherever you want it to go, or
Okay, that's true.
okay. I mean,
Here's
I don't mind though.
so this is kind of like a woody.
You talk about the footsteps
No,
still?
this melody.
Oh, the echoey sound that?
This is Mush's theme.
Oh, that. Oh.
And then there's another instrument joins. Okay. And
Yeah.
then and then right then you hear the God sound. So I will let's go back to the top and bring everything in. You could almost imagine that he's whistling this to himself as he's walking along or humming.
Here comes the gods.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the God sound.
Just like
Can you
they're
back it
they're
up
just
to that?
kind of
I don't, I don't hear anything until that second bar. That's the great elder Armiligus
yes,
or
exactly.
Armiligus. But as we approach that part of the level, we should emphasize that, like do a branch of sound
Yeah.
effect as he
There's
approaches that part of the
there's sort
zone
of
of the level.
right.
Nice. Yeah. It's a little more foreboding.
Yeah.
Danger's coming.
And like subterranean, so well, everything is subterranean, but um almost subliminal, like you hear it rumbling beneath your feet, right?
Hmm.
And then and so then right when and again, this is almost like a trailer. It's like introducing the different characters. Like
Love it.
you introduce the environment, you introduce walking, you introduce Mush, the gods, and then the next thing that happens is down here is this stuff that's meant to represent the alchemist. I always forget her name. What's her name?
Ms. Moss,
Ms. Moss. All right.
the mossy old mentor, our alchemist
Right.
character.
So
She's the Myconoid Yoda. I think is a
right,
good way to think of her.
right.
She's even stooped over with the cane and everything.
So she's got a kind of shamanistic, slightly wild kind of sound. There's this percussion here, and then this stuff down here is these voices. Actually, I can just solo it. So,
Oh, wow.
so she's kind of tribal, but shamanistic, like that chanting.
That's so cool. Can you break those three down?
Yep. Each one of
What
these.
what would you consider the first part of that?
So this is
Damage ethnic small drums.
yeah.
Oh, this little tack tick tick tack tack. Oh wow. There's a whole little tune going on there. What kind of instrument would you say that is?
Those are ethnic small drums.
It's a,
They're
it's a sound effect in the library,
yeah,
huh?
it's let's see if we look in here. Damage is the name of the instrument. Yeah, it just says ethnic small drums.
Okay, I was just curious. Okay,
Yeah, they're probably like little African drums. But they might have screwed around with it. They might have mixed stuff together. This isn't specific. Like there are other instruments that are like traditional Kenyan drums or whatever. These are
oh
a little
wow.
more screwed around with. And you know,
Okay,
I will normally go and do some customization, but because I made this very quickly, I made this whole song in like an hour. I just used a bunch of stuff that was to hand.
okay.
Although I think that I think that some of these melodic parts I actually tweaked the patch myself. All right, and then the other element in here for her is this thing.
Yeah, this is crazy. Let me turn it up. There's a lot in there. Can you do it one more time? That's so cool. That's so
Yeah,
jungly. That's like
yeah.
going into the canopy rainforest portion of the Academy of Science or something if they had monkeys and bird if they had yeah.
This is just hitting one key on this patch. This this Fables um,
Damn.
this Fables patch is out of control. I think the God sound is from Fables too. Actually, a bunch of this stuff is that one,
That's,
that one. Oh no, Bubble, the Gods is Arcus.
you meant out of control in a good way?
Yeah.
Right on.
Um,
Yeah,
the
awesome,
good
man.
kind of out of control. All right, so now
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
hear
Well, that's because. Oh, go ahead.
all these things come together.
Okay.
could almost hear this part at the end as Mush and Ms. Maz having a conversation with each other, or maybe
Mhm.
this whole song represents Mush walking on his way to her lab, and then we cut to her lab and she's doing her thing, and then he comes in and they dialogue, and as Mush approaches, this is kind of how I visualize it, as much as like sort of walking through the environment, he maybe walks by a giant root from one of these huge, massive god structures, or an arm or something, and it sort of rumbles, and he's like, "Whoa, what the fuck is that?" Right?
Nice.
But I mean, this isn't necessarily narrative. It can be, but it's really,
Oh,
like I said, it's almost like it could
okay.
serve as an opening theme song or a
Okay.
trailer.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's definitely in my head. It's definitely got a lot of narrative and
Yeah.
game mechanic. Like it all blends together in my head.
Yeah.
So
And this is literally the very first thing I did
wow.
for this project. So
Yeah.
we're not married to any of it. I can go and do, in fact, I intend to go and do explorations that are very different from this, so that we have other ideas and we don't have to settle on the very first thing that came out of my head.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Beautiful.
I'm pretty happy with it. So
Yeah, yeah, no, I love it. It's very catchy. So and yeah, how much of it like I had quite a few ideas that generated when I listened to it. So I think now's a good time to maybe spitfire a couple things that popped out. The first thing I had, like the echoey sound, like it really captures the mysterious, like it feels like going on a big adventure more maybe them being back at the lab. Maybe that is part of it. It felt a little more getting ready to go on the journey type of like dun dun, almost like the Lord of the Rings when they finally leave
mhm.
and that first time they cross the
Da,
I've
da.
never been this far before type
Right.
of sensation too. But there's one sound effect that really grabbed me in the beginning that I think would be fun to push as the kind of overall environmental vibration of the Great Mycelium, which kind of is has its fingers all throughout the area. There's that. Yeah, what is that in your head? Do you have?
Yeah, it's the environment.
Yeah,
It's almost like water dropping. The second sketch that I did gets much more literal with like bubbling and water dropping
yeah,
sound.
yeah.
But this is almost like a musical representation of stuff in the environment, like insects or plants or
Yeah.
mud that are just
Yes,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
moving
Insects.
around in the background. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Cool.
And
Yeah,
then
some.
this one too, this bit too is also here, let's just listen to this.
Ooh.
This is like light filtering through
Mm.
the dusty air almost.
Can you name those? Would
Yeah.
you mind? And I'm trying to take notes here. Is there a way to take the names of all your tracks into a simple notepad doc or something, or do I just transcribe them all?
Um,
I'm gonna take a screen cap
I
of this
mean, right
guy
now it's
here.
only one,
Paste.
two, three, four, five different things. But yeah,
Oh, okay. I thought that was like 10 or 12. No.
I mean, yeah, I
Or
could,
yeah, okay.
I mean, until this moment, I hadn't really
I got it.
articulated this in my mind, but yes. So
Yeah, yeah, that was cool.
this is like environment, um, bugs and bubbles. And this
Okay.
is environment, light and dust. This track is just accents, like cymbal crashes. So you've got this.
Can you play that one again?
Yeah, so this starts with,
Oh, okay. The initial, that's like your
yeah, but then there's also like you can see at the end of the first phrase in Rush's theme, right here, when it repeats, you get a strike down here. That's just a thing you do in music. It's a cymbal crash,
hmm
right? So I've got these little hits that kind of accent section transitions.
Mm, okay. Well,
Um,
having said that, that initial sound, I think having level cues like that, I think I can't wait for our collab session. This is gonna be so fun. We're gonna like
yeah.
bang out so many maps and ideas.
So
Like I think what hits me from that is like having like a really good cue, tying that together with a visual effect and with the lighting and with an emitter when you
yeah,
do enter a different part of the forest or the adventure,
yes,
the
that
zone.
that
So then
changes me.
boom, you're kind of like, whoa, and then even the camera might zoom in or zoom out, or all of a sudden, or Shroomy might go or make a note. You know,
Right.
we're kind of having the sidekick be a little indicator as well whenever you a significant change has happened and where you're pathing, where you're at, what you're supposed to be looking for. But that little noise, I was thinking of that generated. Maybe that's not the noise to use, but the sound, the hum of the great mycelium, so that when you do come, yeah, that almost felt like that would be a really cool sound effect to use or to
Yeah,
riff from for the mycelium kind of when you get near a zone, because that's how you're going to do your fast travel by
yeah.
by by getting to the mycelium network and then zoop, kind of like a portal, so you could like leave your husk and then re travel through and reappear.
I'm
And
gonna
it's all
I'm gonna save this patch because I think I messed around with it. I want to make sure I preserve it.
and it's the only one that has a slightly more synthetic sound to it as
Yeah.
well, which is kind of cool. It's
Hmm.
less organic than all the other sounds. So for
Yeah.
me, it felt like if we're doing the mycozoids and then
Yeah.
we're integrating the villain, which we don't have a sound effect yet. The Sizin, the Mayan god of death and earthquakes,
Right.
is going to be the big villain. I don't know if I did that big reveal. Oh, whoa. Yeah. Oh, Vera. I remember Vera. Cool.
We
It's cool. I
can
played
make.
with all these apps over the years. I just never knew what I was doing. I was always just like
This
pushing.
is just Vera Light Breaks Through is just the name of the patch.
Oh, I'm thinking of Vega or
Yeah, this is
thinking of something
Alchemy
else.
is the name of this
Is the
program.
software? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
this comes with Logic. Um,
So one tune. Oh, sorry.
I need to make sure that I don't
Say what you did. Stop
yeah,
messing up.
right.
I was thinking of some like sprinkling or variant of that of like of corruption of like Cizin's influence of like
Uh-huh.
kind of making the Great Mycelium like getting polluted. I think any thoughts on that in the coming future of that getting wrenched or corrupted or somehow violated in a bad way, that it's the pulse
Right.
is kind of getting so that when you see things in the environment getting corrupted and you start fighting actual bad guys and the insanity of the queen and things like that. I think
Whoops, I lost your audio, Chris.
my headset like so randomly just shut off.
Uh, the last thing I heard you say was Insanity of the Queen, which piqued my interest.
Yeah, so the great mycelium is what connects all of the realm of the myconoids, right?
Yeah.
And what they don't know is it's actually getting corrupted by season, like deep from under the earth.
Yeah.
He's creating his earthquakes, and he's slowly spreading this rotting. He's also called the stinking one. So he's this perfect bad guy.
Yeah.
He's like earthquakes, stench, and death, right? So he's slowly corrupting and trying to quake and like literally crumble down the upper crust and the ecosystem and the realm of the myconoids, both of them for that matter.
Yeah.
So the Great Mycelium is I always thought of it as like a somewhat not quite sentient, like it's a godlike being to all the myconoids, but it's not necessarily like it doesn't have will.
Yeah.
It just kind of is. It just exists as almost like a more like a Greek Titan like type of entity. It's
Yeah.
primordial entity. Does that make sense?
Hmm. That's kind
But
of how I picture these things, like these gods too, like these primordial gods that
yeah,
are part of the environment almost. They're so
they
big.
those ones though we gave like some humanoid shape to though. So they
Uh,
do they so they I think we were thinking they would have some personality and maybe and actually when it arrives we're gonna have our Milligus when you reach him and we'll draw this out together when we do the our jam session, but he's like slumbering, right? And then you have to go and like jump in his ear and like in his nose to like sprinkle the right spores to wake him up. And
yeah.
then it's like a big he'll kind of rise up
Amazing.
and then the level he'll pan back and then as you're going away from him, his hands will come
Yeah.
like swiping and then farther and farther away. You think you're far enough away and then
Right.
And then farther away as the parallax happens, and then like he's got this insane reach, and
That's awesome.
that's how we envision the final battle of
And
the
I
end
get
of the
to
first
I get
level.
to develop this sound concept, and that whole level is going to be this thing
Yeah,
coming to life. Here I can make the mycelium network here. I can make it distorted. Uh,
yeah, like almost like maybe like a painful sound at first, like ah, like what's happened, and then like a where it gets like influenced by evil.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, and some insanity, some like some
Yeah.
like
This is also
chaotic
making it sound.
scrambles.
This is also making it sound more Mycazoid, right? Like more sort of
Hmm.
robotic and mechanical.
Which could be why we put the two realms in conflict initially, is that they
Yeah.
think one and the other's causing
Hmm.
this, like, oh, you're infringing your organic ways or infringing on our synthetic ways, and then have
Yeah.
them become friends later, type of deal, like to the true enemy. That's and then the other thing is the elder god's going to have the first one, Armilligus, which is named after the big giant fungus in Oregon. This is like the
Mm.
largest mycelium known to man at the moment. It's like the giant that's like actually becoming parasitic. It usually has a symbiotic relationship with the great redwoods and the topsoil, with the hyphae and everything. It's becoming parasitic and actually killing the trees rather than nurturing them, which is a really good analogy. So we're going to have him getting influence as well, and his influence will be reaching the roots of the big giant, these great tree beings that live on the actual surface that they don't know, and that roof, so to speak, like the false ceiling of the whole myconoid realm. There's gases and nebulous. To them, that's always been the sky. They don't even know there's a realm above them. They just never, no one adventures up there. And I had a whole set of creatures that live in that vast nebulous gas sky that, like, there's a reason you don't go past it, right? Because no one ever comes back, type of deal. And so he could be unconsciously in his slumber getting poison, getting influenced by Cezanne, and then also influencing and poisoning the surface trees as well. So the sickness is just all over. So um, some of the initial things you would fight or have to battle would be some of the offspring of the elder of Armeligus. So we're going to come up with some like little minor offshot beings of him that you would actually kind of almost like guardians to keep you off his body, so to
Yeah.
speak. So you try and get to him. So and then I think I had like four or five elder beings, like myconoid specific elder beings that would be like some a little more aquatic. Now that I have the initial map kind of zoned out, just like loosely, that would be fun to adventure through.
Is all this stuff written down in a document?
All of that stuff, no.
You got to get it down. You got to get it down
Well,
in
at
a
least
doc, bro.
I recorded it with you. So
Yeah, right?
yeah, yeah, no. Well, so my hope would be we would jam, however, a 2 or 3 hour session, and I would like draw on the fly as you're making some initial sound
Yeah.
effects. Nothing needs to be finished, and we could just, because we just want to get the first level done and the trailer.
Yeah.
So I mean, I have like I have so many ideas to where the other maps could be in, and what kind of tabletop, what kind of sets we could make.
And Dusty is kind of doing some of the story writing, right? Is that what Dusty is doing?
Yeah, we're collaborating, and then
Yeah.
he's doing all of the writing for narrative for dialogue. Like he's
Great.
great with the dialogue and the like kind of the box text, so to speak, and then we're collaborating on the overarching backstory.
Yeah.
But he's primary, like doing 90-95% of the per encounter, per stage of the level. Okay, what does the alchemist say,
Yeah.
and what
I,
is
for starters, because writing all of that down.
I'm gonna
Oh,
pause for 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna stop.